Jimin's muscles burned, quickly glancing at the stones on her weapons. I've been using this for too long. I don't know how much longer I have before it shatters. She thought about the extra stones she had made sure to bring with her in the small containers around her waist. If the stones shatter, I'm pretty sure these things won't give me the opportunity to switch them out. Gritting her teeth, she eyed both Vanessa and Liz. Both of the women weren't moving as quickly as they had before. The sheer number of monsters began to take its toll on their abilities. Mentally, Jean was barely able to register what she was doing as she relied on the instincts developed in the arena inside of the facility. Tilting her head and body, she barely dodged a spike hurtling towards her head. Rushing along the length of the tail, she stabbed the monster and received a satisfying shriek of pain. Her world went off balance as she felt something strike her side. Flying several feet into the air, her mind panicked. Her worst fears came into light as she slid across the floor and soon had tentacles wrapping around her arms and legs. Feeling the tentacles taking a hold of her body, she could feel the strain on her joints as the monsters tried to tear off her arms and legs. She didn't even register how the tentacles wrapped around her breasts and squeezed them. Get off of me! Jimin struggled to free herself, but could feel her strength being insufficient for the task even with the help of a suit. Panic slowly began seeping into her mind as she imagined the intense wave of pain she'd be experiencing soon. I'll kill you! I'll kill you! She screamed, tears streaming down her face. All she could think about was the sensation of her muscles screaming in protest as the tentacles began pulling her apart. Mind-numbing cold. The world itself felt like it froze. Jimin no longer felt any pressure around her. Before she was able to process what was happening, everything around her shattered into shards of ice crystals. As she tried to understand what was happening, the world was drenched in flames. Frantically turning her head about, Jimin saw that all the enemies immediately around her were eliminated and gave her enough time to recover. She jumped to her feet as soon as the flames disappeared. Are you okay? A woman's voice called out. Disoriented by how quickly everything was moving, it took some time before Jimin realized the voice belonged to Jennifer. Looking over, she saw the woman near her group fighting more of the monsters. Sluggishly, trying to form the words, how? Jimin couldn't understand what had transpired. Han saw you getting hit, Jennifer simply said, not wanting to take too much attention away from the immediate threat around her. Sorry for taking so long to assist you. Han's voice was soon heard. Seeing that the area around her was being quickly filled by more of the creatures, she immediately shouted, Vanessa, Liz, Katya, while we still have time, move closer to Han's group. Running, Jimin jumped on one of the monsters, feeling the fleshy exterior of the thing before launching in the direction of her group, which was already beginning to make their way in the direction of where Han and his group were fighting desperately. Quickly, but stay together, Jimin yelled, seeing the number of monsters making their way towards them. Feet hitting the ground, Jimin rushed towards her group and was able to reunite with them. We're going to get overwhelmed. Katya breathed heavily as she made her way to where Han and the others were fighting. Their movement was quick but restricted due to Vanessa and Liz holding off the majority of the monsters trying to fill the void created by Han and Jennifer. Deflecting a tail, she quickly made the ice around the monster's spike shatter. It made the creature fall back slightly from the pain. The problem was how it was quickly replaced by another. We're not going to make it. Katya used a shield on her arm before decapitating the tail. What are we going to do? Her breathing became heavier after the exertion of energy. Do we hold out again and continue having our backs to the wall? Deflecting another attack. At least we can focus on attacks coming from the front and above. There was another extreme chill in the air. Like water turned into ice. There was a flow of ice moving across the monsters still in their path. When Jimin looked, she saw Han holding out his arm. Didn't know you guys also had people who had special abilities, Katya chuckled. Jimin nodded her head, remembering the report Han had made after rescuing Jimin and her companions from the cave. It seems he recently developed the skill. She was grateful that his abilities were strong enough to make a decent dent. Katya laughed. Well, let's not waste his effort. Turning her head to look at Vanessa and Liz. We're going to make a full dash towards where Han and the others are. It's only a little bit more until we reach them. Ignore the defense and run, Jimin ordered, directing her attention towards Han. We're heading over to where you are. We'll need support. Keep them off of our back. Jennifer, Han yelled at his sister. Jimin watched as Han used his massive sword and angled it. As though it were a move practiced between them, Jennifer jumped onto the blade and used it as a launching platform. She flew through the air. When Jimin thought Jennifer would crash into the mob of enemies, she spun the spear she'd been using and slapped the ground upon landing. Eyes widening, Jimin quickly understood what was about to happen. Everyone, run faster, now! Thinking of Han's sister, you crazy bitch! Behind them, the ground erupted in flames and engulfed all the enemies immediately behind Jimin's group. It was as though hell had opened its gates and unleashed its full power. Adrenaline coursed through her veins as she put whatever energy was left inside of her to avoid being barbecued alive. Even with her suit's help, Jimin could feel the searing heat. What frustrated her even more was the laughing by Han's sister. That battle-crazy woman could have killed us all. What the hell is that woman? Katya yelled out. A psycho battle-crazed woman, that's what she is. Jimin glared daggers at Han. Han, put a leash on that woman. Sounding apologetic. What else could I have done? Her skills and abilities are perfect for doing crowd control. Under his breath, Han said, Do I look like someone crazy enough to try and get between her and her fun? Damn it, Han! Jimin clenched her teeth in fury. As they reached Han's group, though she was furious about getting nearly cooked, she felt better now that she was amongst a larger group. Her body was completely drained of energy. Han, I don't think we can keep this up much longer. Jessica, Han's mom, voiced with concern. Agreed. I'm completely spent. Jimin was bent over in the middle of the group. Katya's companion, Katharina, said, We could try going back the way we came. The tighter quarters could allow us to force these things into a place we'd have an easier time fighting in. Hearing the words made by Katharina, Jimin couldn't help but stare. Though the idea made sense, how the fuck are we supposed to do that? Just getting over to where all of you were standing took nearly everything. The distance towards where we came from is over double the distance. All of them ignored the loud screeching they could periodically hear off in the distance and getting closer.